Hello YouTube, Gaming Goddess here with a review on Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. This is a hack and slash video game produced by Kojima Productions for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. This game was originally announced as Metal Gear Rising, and it was said to take place between the events of Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty and Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots. Obviously, this didn't happen, so Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance now takes place 4 years after the events of Metal Gear Solid 4. With that being said, let's get into the review. First, let's take a look at the gameplay. This is a game where the player takes control of Raiden, a katana-wielding cyborg in a hack-and-slash type of battle system that focuses on slashing through the enemies. Raiden's main weapon is his high-frequency blade, but Raiden can also use other weapons such as rocket launchers and daggers. Some of these sub-weapons can be obtained after defeating a boss. The player is also able to enter a bullet time state where they can slice through falling targets at multiple angles before the target hits the ground. This feature can also be employed strategically, such as disabling enemies, finding their weak points, collapsing ceilings and walls onto the enemies, deflecting the enemy fire, and cutting through objects that enemies may be taking cover behind. The final gameplay point is that you are able to actually customize Raiden's body and equipment. This can be pretty useful since you are also able to upgrade your health and you can learn new skills. This game features an easy, normal, and hard difficulty setting. Of course, easiest for those who are new to the game. Normal is for those who want to enjoy the story but want a bit of a challenge, and hard is for the expert gamers who are used to the battle system and really don't mind that extreme challenge that comes along with it. I played this game on easy, and there are moments when this game seriously felt way too hard to even be considered easy. The boss fights, for example. Some of the mid-game bosses I could get through no problem, but bosses like Monsoon and the final boss, Armstrong, were the absolute worst in my opinion. Now let's talk about the graphics. Just like previous Metal Gear games, we have a realistic looking art style to the game and tons of cutscenes. Everything actually flowed really well. As far as character and scenery design goes, nothing looked sloppy. Aside from that, this is a pretty violent game, and the slashing graphics can be pretty intense for those who aren't used to gore and blood. Overall, I'm really impressed with a lot of the scenes, especially when Raiden is kicking cyborg butt. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons. First, the pros. Raiden is the main character. The music in this game is actually pretty cool. The game itself really isn't that long. The battle system is pretty easy to master, and finally, the graphics look really good for a realistic style. As for the cons, this game's difficulty doesn't really do it for me. As I mentioned before, some of the bosses felt way too hard even for the easy level of difficulty. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is probably the hardest Metal Gear game I've played so far. I've always liked Raiden's character in previous Metal Gear games, so when I heard about this game, it was definitely on my list of must-play games. I just never got around to picking up a copy until this year. I don't have many complaints about this game, other than the difficulty of certain bosses. I really felt like they were way overpowered for the difficulty level that I played this game on. Other than that, I truly enjoyed this game and what it had to offer. Slashing through the enemies in the bullet time mode would have to be my favorite feature. Seeing the bad guys getting cut up into hundreds of pieces is just great. So great that I would actually like to see a sequel of this game. But of course, those are only rumors right now. This game is Goddess approved, coming in at a rating of 9 out of 10. If this game wasn't so hard, it would seriously have a perfect score for me. This has been a Gaming Goddess review. Leave a like if you enjoyed this review. Also, tell me what you think of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I love hearing all of your opinions. And remember to keep on gaming.